This is Miss K. Her photo hangs in my room to remind me to carry her legacy and influence others just as she has influenced me. Many of us have blood families and non-blood families. My non-blood family is the Washington Contemporary Ballet. Like any other family, we've gone through fun times and hard times. The hardest thing we've ever had to go through was losing our founder and, for most of us, our second mother, Kay Englert. And I want to tell you about how we've remained a family, even through then.
The interesting part with Kay is she had an incredible ear for music. I mean, she heard stuff, and what the music was telling her to do, or tell dancers to do, and so forth. She, if we went to a ballet, some other ballet companies, a show or something, we would both get frustrated. Because that's when we knew most people don't know how to choreograph, because they don't hear the music, they don't feel the music, they just count the music. You can tell the dancers just count. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's no emotion, there's no nothing.
As a board member, when Miss Kay passed away, the biggest fear was that her choreography would die with her. And that was the most beautiful thing about being part of Washington Contemporary Ballet. You got to see the children, you got to see the parents' excitement, but you also got to see the ballet. She would alter the choreography to fit the level of her children at that time. I mean, they were her kids. And the musicality, I never was a dancer. I always wanted to be a dancer. But when I watched Miss Kay's choreography, when I watched my daughters dance and her friends dance, I could feel my body moving with them. You weren't forcing yourself to sit there and tolerate the performance that you might with some ballets. You actually felt yourself moving with the music, and you were part of it, and it was beautiful. And that was one of the biggest things that, as a board member, we wanted to keep alive. With Miss Kay's choreography, Miss Kay was alive, her students continued her legacy.
Miss Kay choreographed oboe when a friend of hers was diagnosed with AIDS. Over the years, however, she changed the choreography to fit how she felt about every state she had in cancer.
On the whole, she was pretty upbeat all the way through, but in her defense, she was tired. And when you're tired, that's when that stuff all takes over. I mean, she had a lot of tumors in her. She was just not, it just wasn't her lungs or anything. It was up in her brain. It was everywhere.
Washington Contemporary Ballet everything was done by Miss Kay. She was the business manager, the artistic manager. She did the recruiting. She paid the bills. She did everything. And now she was gone.
Her heart and soul went into teaching.
I think that's,
definitely the sacrifice thing is something that people really have to take into consideration. And I mean, the studio, I think, had a lot to do with Kay being sick, to be honest. She, obviously didn't give her cancer, but she never took a rest. She was here, she would go have her chemo and then come here. So I don't think that maybe was the healthiest choice for her, but it was a sacrifice that was important in her eyes.
When you sit and really, really think, Kay and I both were very ignorant to cancer. We got caught totally, all sorts of things were unplanned. And that's why everything, at the end when she passed, it was in such a turmoil.
And it was up to us to decide how to continue the ballet, what we were going to do. Ken Kaiser seemed to be the logical choice. I first met Ken Kaiser as a parent. Both of our daughters attended Washington Contemporary Ballet, and we were both wrangled into being members of the party scene for Nutcracker.
I was here during the era when the founder was here, and I learned a lot from her. I got to work next to her for about 5 years, and she taught me a lot of things that I really didn't know.
Miss Kay was able to teach all the classes, and Mr. Kaiser doesn't, so that's kind of a financial burden that we're paying an artistic director who doesn't teach classes except for tap.
Kay had said that before she passed away, had said, please don't have Ken Kaiser take over my studio. And nobody really knows why that was said. I still have no idea why she felt that way. But everybody just, kept that in their minds when they were thinking about who was going to take over.
I authorized that. He got upset because he came into where she was after surgery, where she was in critical care, and she kind of woke up in the middle of the night. Ken was standing there.
Like my daughter, I'm able to brag that I'm a former WCB tap student. And Ken Kaiser was my teacher. And Ken actually is a very good teacher, and he's a good choreographer. He, like Miss Kay, could move with the music. His movements were through tap.
My style of choreography is taken more from like the Gene Kelly era, and he was always a big inspiration to me growing up, and I'd watch his movies, and you'd notice that the style is more athletic, but it's also got a lot of ballet components to it, meaning his training was there. He was also an extraordinary choreographer.
I think that coming back as an alumni to help is really important to me because a lot of these kids didn't have the opportunity to work with Kay. All of us bring a different piece of her to the table, and whether that be as a dancer, or as a teacher, or as somebody that runs rehearsals, whatever, we all have a little piece of her with us. And I think that as alumni, it's really awesome for us to come and share that insight and our wisdom with these younger kids that maybe even if they did dance with Kay, they were so young that they didn't have the same experiences that we did.
Like, we still all come back because we know that Ken doesn't know what we know, but
Right.
she's taught us. So we all always volunteer. It's weird when one person's not volunteering and someone else is.
But that's good though. I mean, that's what she instilled into you guys. That's why she loved teaching babies. She would probably be very happy.
Nora, she's a sensation, a reason for aviation, and fellas, you got to watch it. When she wind up, she bottom, she roll like a rocket.
WCB has always been a family, and
not even a family as much as like also, well, obviously a family, but also a second home. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I spend more time here, or more waking time here than I do at home, or I always did in high school and throughout
history.
If you like go home to like your real family, then like you come here, it's like you're never leaving your family away because you always have that group of people who like act like a family towards you, like your sisters or your brothers and stuff.
Family means that there's the people that you're there for, I guess, and I don't know how to answer that question. No, I'm not doing so.
One of the reasons I stepped into the position when I did back in 2005 was because I wanted to make sure those kids had a place to go. The building we're in is nicer, we like it more, but it's really about what happens in the studio, and that's really what I'm trying to keep going.
It's a hard road. You know, it was hard when she was alive. But, you know, I give Kenneth credit. He's hanging in there. He's making it work. Shake, shake, Sinora, shake all the time. Break, 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 Sinora.